All right, gang, we got an amazing new episode for you today. We're asking AI a tough one. We're debating a great one. Stick around, comment, share, like, subscribe. Let us know what you think. Let us know what your answer is, and we'll tally the votes and let you know on the next Retorted show. Please enjoy this episode because it's a great one. We love you. Thanks. See ya. When they're walking and that side profile shot with their shadows on the wall, right? Like, that's been stolen, since been stolen. Am I right?
Dude, how about Jim Carrey getting The Mask and Ace Ventura out the same year?
And Dumb and Dumber.
Like, that's insane.
That's wild. This is where I'm at with Pulp Fiction, and this is almost a genius way to describe it, because I'm a fucking genius.
That it is a bank robbery movie where you never see anyone rob a bank.
My movie viewing experience matured because of Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction did that for me. Can you ever listen to Stuck in the Middle with You Again and not think of Michael Madsen? No.
Nope.
No, you can't. Dude, if someone's having a career year, someone's having a career year. If you run into Nick Foles in 2017, don't be mad about it. You just ran into Buzzsaw, Daddy, with a huge old... Well, hello, everybody out there in good old Working Perspectives Podcastville. It's your boy, Old Uncle Matty, accompanied by the one and only Benoit Pahoud Casse. This is the Working Perspectives Podcast presents Ask AI. We got something new for you today. On this show, we're going to have a match. A movie match, we'll say. It'll start off with the tale of the tape. We'll go over the combatants. And then we'll take it round by round. Round one, we'll be discussing the nostalgia and the feels that these movies gives us. Then we'll be going over the accolades accumulated by these videos or movies. Then we'll go over with some critical acclaim. Well, I said critical acclaim. Then the round three will be the wild card. And round four, we'll ask our old friend Gemini. So super excited to get into today. Today's combatants are... Your boy, Old Uncle Matty, will be representing Pulp Fiction, the incredible movie Pulp Fiction, and Benoit Pahoud Casse will be in the red corner representing Reservoir Dogs. So that's right. We're going to ask AI to tickle some fancy, give us some love, and today's battle is Pulp Fiction versus Reservoir Dogs. Enjoy the show, Daddy. Is it Pulp Fiction or Reservoir Dogs? Well, Daddy smacked some nuts on the chin of that one. New intro. So like I said, so the people know, we're trying something new, right? We're going movie debate today for Ask AI. So we got it broken down into different rounds. We're going to discuss some nostalgia. Then we're going to talk some critical acclaim. Then we're going to throw a little wild card in there. And then we're going to end it where we ask AI. But first, Benoit Pahoud, we got the tale of the tape. All right, Bern, here's the tale of the tape for our two combatants, Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. So, the release date. Reservoir Dogs' release date was October 23rd, 1992, where Pulp Fiction's release date was October 14th, 1994, almost 2 years later. The runtime for Reservoir Dogs, 1 hour, 39 minutes, where Pulp Fiction's runtime is 2 hours and 34 minutes, so almost a full hour longer. the opening weekend box office for Reservoir Dogs, and this is with a limited release for Reservoir Dogs. Opening box office was $147,000 or $147,841 for Reservoir Dogs opening weekend box office. In comparison, Pulp Fiction's opening weekend box office was $9,311,882. The total domestic U.S. box office for Reservoir Dogs was $2,832,029. The U.S. domestic box office for Pulp Fiction was $107,928,762. And then the worldwide box office for Reservoir Dogs, $14,651,117 worldwide box office gross for Reservoir Dogs. And then the worldwide box office gross for Pulp Fiction was $213,928,762. And then the estimated DVD VHS sales, because these were both released in the VHS DVD era. Reservoir Dogs had 50 million plus DVD sales, and then Pulp Fiction had 125 million plus DVD VHS sales. A couple important notes here. It says, for limited release, Reservoir Dogs initially had a very limited theatrical release, gradually expanding to more theaters. This significantly impacted opening weekend box office compared to the worldwide release of Pulp Fiction. I think we knew that, right?
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Tarantino's first movie obviously is not going to screen the way his second movie is going to screen.
I did want to also say a couple other things. So box office versus profit. So the box office numbers represent the gross revenue, not profit. So calculating actual profit is tricky as it involves factors like production costs, marketing, and distribution expenses. That's something also really like the producers know. You know what I mean? Which would be Harvey Weinstein.
Correct.
Because
Yeah.
these are Miramax.
Mhm.
And then also for the DVD VHS, the sales, it said these fixtures are estimated based on available data and actual sales may vary. Both films were hugely successful on home video, contributing significantly to their overall revenue and cult status. I would say that would be more for Reservoir Dogs became more cult status because of home video. Would you agree?
Well, yeah, especially like with the limited release. Like I think there are a lot of people who maybe didn't see Reservoir Dogs, but
Yeah.
ended up seeing Pulp Fiction in theaters just because you got big names in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got Bruce
Yes.
Willis, you got Sam
Mhm.
Jackson. So people
Yeah.
may have just wandered into that and like, I don't know, we'll see this wacky looking movie. Where Reservoir Dogs, I think it achieved its like entire cult classic through
Yeah.
probably people watching it at home for the first time.
I think
Um,
too, Reservoir Dogs is really a word of mouth thing. Also, Reservoir Dogs, this is what happened, I think, in correct me if I'm wrong, Bern, but because so Pulp Fiction came out, big, huge thing, right? And then you had those like snooty fucking know-it-all jerk offs. They're like, oh, you think Pulp Fiction's good? Dude, Reservoir Dogs so much better. And you're like, what? Reservoir? Whoa, bro, you must know a lot about film if you know his other movie. Whoa, dude, yeah. Right? That's
I
that's
mean,
what happened. You know what I mean?
listen, I was 10 when Reservoir Dogs came out and 12 when Pulp Fiction came out.
Yeah,
Uh, I definitely saw Pulp Fiction before I saw Reservoir Dogs,
same,
you
same.
know? So I
Years
think, yeah,
before.
probably a lot of people were like, walked out of Pulp Fiction, were like, holy shit, what was that? That was insane. And then you find out, oh, he did another one. It's on DVD. It's like, well, I'm going to go check that out right now. So, yeah, I think there's probably a lot of people who saw Pulp Fiction
Yeah.
first.
So okay, Bern. So that was the tail of the tape. Really awesome stuff. And then we're gonna go on to round one, which is our personal opinions and nostalgia. Would you like to start off?
Yeah, I will. I'll start off.
Okay.
So obviously, I knew that Reservoir Dogs was not going to fare well on the tail of the tape as far as release, as far as the money it made, as far as
I
what it
mean, I
grossed
will
in
say
theaters.
but if you so you say that, Bern, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I do want to say this, right? So the total US domestic gross was 2 million. We'll say it's 3 million, right? It was 2,832,000, right? the total worldwide box office gross was 14,651,000. So it times seven times, the popularity of its initial release in the US, and it had a limited theatrical release. Whereas Pulp Fiction, it doubled its money. It went from 100 million to 200 million, you know what I mean? Give or take a few million, right? But it didn't times seven, you know? So I don't know. The quantity is not the same, but if you look at it statistically, it did do well statistically. Sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt. Please continue.
no problem at all, man. Yeah, percentage wise, it made a lot more. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it increased, but
I don't know why I was helping you out there because my nuts are gonna be on your chin a little bit, but go ahead.
so um, like I said, I saw Pulp Fiction first,
Yeah,
and I was like, what did I? I mean, the first time I saw that movie, I was like,
yeah,
what did I just watch? Like, I've
yeah.
never really seen anything like that.
Hmm.
But then going back and watching Reservoir Dogs, I was like, oh, it's all right here. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like you clearly see that this guy has a certain style and a certain vision.
yeah.
And Reservoir Dogs, I feel like for me, I think Pulp Fiction has a lot of rewatchable scenes,
Hmm.
but I think a movie as a whole, I'm much more likely to sit down and watch Reservoir Dogs from beginning to end than I am to sit
Mm.
down and watch Pulp Fiction from beginning to end.
Mm.
I think Reservoir Dogs is tight. What do we say? It's like 99 minutes, where like Pulp Fiction's almost
Uh,
an
yeah,
hour 39, right? So
hour 39. Yeah, 99 minutes. Yeah,
99 minutes, where Pulp Fiction's like,
154.
154.
Hmm.
Um, Reservoir Dogs is tight, man. It is
Yeah.
a linear story. It
Mm.
moves straight through from beginning to end.
Yeah.
It's tension filled from the very beginning when they're talking about not tipping the waitress,
Oh,
to the
great
very end.
scene.
It,
Great scene.
I mean, it's a great way to start. You learn
Yeah.
a lot about the characters sitting at the table right there.
Dude, right
And
then and there, you're like, I mean, for me, it's fuck you, Buscemi. Shut the
yeah,
fuck up. Right? Like, literally, that's genius in the writing and the production where it's like, that's how you get a character over right then and there. Right? You're like, this fucking Buscemi, like, this Mr. Pink guy is a fucking twat, you know?
and over a dollar,
Over a dollar.
like everybody
Over a
kicking a
dollar.
buck, everybody kicking a
Yeah.
buck.
But also
Um,
then it adds like, because you have to get Joe over as like a father figure for Michael Madsen in a
mhm.
way, and obviously a father figure for Chris Penn, being that it is his dad, right? So when he's like, no, like this is, and the same thing for Harvey Keitel. Harvey Keitel has to get over as a father figure as well, right?
Yeah,
When he's
especially
like,
for
no,
Tim
this is
Roth.
a hard job, Yeah, exactly, right? So when they're sticking, like, it also gives, like, I know these guys are all criminals, but it adds to the fact of like, oh, they're sticking up for the little man. So yeah, that is a fantastic scene, which then leads into the other kind of, I guess, the scene steal, right? Like a big, like the one, when they're walking and that side profile shot with their shadows on the wall, right? Like, that's been stolen, since been stolen, since been stolen. Am I right?
I always marveled at Reservoir Dogs because you don't realize until the end of the movie, or until even maybe after you've watched it a couple times, that it is a bank robbery movie where you never see anyone rob a bank. And that
Mm-hmm.
whole idea almost becomes secondary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you realize very early on that Tarantino is a dialogue guy and a
Mm.
character guy. And for me, that's the stuff that just reaches out and grabs me. So Pulp Fiction I saw, I was like, this movie was insane. I don't even know what I just
Yeah.
watched. I really liked it,
Yeah.
but I gotta watch it again. But Reservoir Dogs is way easier for me to go back
Yeah.
to and just kind of immerse.
Yeah.
What say you, Maddie? What say you about your
So I'll say
experience?
this. I really do enjoy Reservoir Dogs. There's a lot I enjoy about it. Can you ever listen to Stuck in the Middle with You again and not think of Michael Madsen? No.
Nope.
No, you can't, right? But it's the same thing with Pulp Fiction where you can't see this fucking thing anymore and not think of Johnny T, you know? So I'll say this, Bern. Can I say this? Right. This is where I'm at with Pulp Fiction, and this is almost a genius way to describe it because I'm a fucking genius. Let's be clear. Pulp Fiction was a cultural phenomenon. Do we agree?
Agree.
Okay. So for me, it's like this, right? I was 9 when Pulp Fiction came out, right? But the way it was back then is that like you could see it in theaters and whatever. I wasn't allowed to see it. I didn't see it in theaters, but it was in theaters for a long time. It didn't come out on VHS till it was released in October of 94. It probably wasn't out on VHS until, maybe September of 95, right? Like back then it took a while for it to come out on VHS, right?
Absolutely. Things used to take 9, 10 months once they were out of the theaters to actually come out on
Especially too
VHS.
when if it was such like it was a hit in theaters, so they kept it in theaters. They didn't put it out on VHS for a long time because they're raking in all that theater money, right? So for me though, I remember like there's times in your life, and my daughter does it now, where she'll watch like a music video or show, and she'll like this type of music. Then I'll play her a song, and she won't like that song, but the song I played her is clearly a much better song, right? But she just hasn't matured in taste yet. But there will be one day where she listens to a song that's like, a Bruce song or Bob Dylan or something like that, where it clicks. And she's like, God damn, that's fucking music, right? That's what Pulp Fiction was for me. I remember I was watching, the kiddie films, the Mighty Ducks, the Sandlots, the, Rookie of the Years, like all that stuff. I was watching that, and those are all good kid films. But I remember when I watched Pulp Fiction for the first time, I was like, I just upped my game as a viewer of content, right? Like of a viewer, like as a movie watcher, I upped my game because having watched this movie, my whole flavor of movie, my opinion of movies, what I liked about movies completely changed because of that music. My movie viewing experience matured because of Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction did that for me, right? Just like there was a fucking song that did that for me too. God damn. Oh, I think it might have been Who Sucked Out the Feeling. Who
By
Sucked
Superdrag?
Out by Superdrag. Yeah. I just
Great
remember we
jam.
used to listen to like, the teeny bopper songs all the time. But I remember Tom came home with a Superdrag CD one time, and Who Sucked Out the Feeling? We listened to that like 10 times in a row. Look around, could I bring somebody down if I
I
never
never
made a
made a
sound
sound
again?
again.
Look at me, I could write a melody, or actually, it was probably Boys in the Hood by Dynamite Hack. Was, the song that changed it for me was Boys in the Hood by Dynamite Hack. That's when I listened to that song, I was like, now I can listen to all music. I wasn't stuck in the kid bubble anymore. I'd
Right,
matured.
right. Superdrag, a close second to Boys in the Hood.
So, yeah. Pulp Fiction became like this type of movie won't do it for me. I need to get my fix from real movies now. Like I need to see real acting. I need to see real storytelling. I need dialogue. Didn't know how much I needed dialogue in movies until I saw Pulp Fiction. I'll tell you that. And then once I saw it, I was like, I was hooked. And Reservoir Dogs, great. And it's a great film. And there's a lot of things I really like about Reservoir Dogs. But the fact that a crooked cop can handcuff you and rape you in a basement in the middle of Hollywood,
At like noon, like middle, like early in the day. Like it's the middle of the afternoon. It's not even dark out. It is full on daytime.
that's the world we're living in, Daddy.
Let me just say though that Reservoir Dogs has an equally incredible soundtrack.
Really,
And
yes, agreed. Great
and
soundtrack.
the DJ they use, the guy who does DJ voice, is legendary comedian Stephen Wright, who does all of the
Oh
interstitials
man,
and like introductions. So I think I think we knew. I think it's fair to say that we knew early on from those first two films that Tarantino had a real ear for music. And you talk about
yeah,
stuck in the middle. You have this happy, poppy, peppy song, while Michael
yeah,
Madsen is just joyously slicing this young cop's ear off. And I think it was
yeah,
easy to realize that Tarantino, like, this guy's operating on a slightly different level than what we're used to watching. Because
Dude, I mean,
the song's so
yeah,
happy. It's a bop. It's just a happy little bop. Meanwhile,
yeah.
some guy is having the
Stuck in the
absolute
middle with you.
worst
Yeah,
day of his entire life. When he's talking to the air, I mean, like, just it doesn't get better than that.
I beg to differ. The fucking scene. Christopher Walken comes in,
Oh, the
drops his
watch.
fucking nuts on a movie, and the fucking scene where he gives a story about the watch. Incredible.
You really feel
Incredible.
for young Bruce Willis there. I mean, that's a lot of information for like an 8-year-old to download, and then it's like, and here it is.
But
This watch
that's,
has been
dude,
in lots of butts.
dude, that's the incredible world that Tarantino can film. So, but okay, that's round one, right? Can we
Okay, yeah,
call it
yeah.
for round one?
I think that's a good round one.
All right, Benoit Payud. It's been a good one thus far. It's back and forth against the ropes, throwing heavyweight blows. But we're going to move on to round numero dos. In round numero dos, aka round two, round dos for the Spanish speaking audience. Round two, we're going over some awards and critical acclaim, which it's kind of one sided, Papi Chulo. Let me tell you. So, a couple of stats here, Daddy O. You ready? A couple of stats.
I'm ready, baby.
Pulp Fiction. You know it. You love it. You heard of it. Nominated for 7, count them, 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. It won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival. Reservoir Dogs was not nominated for any major awards. But
That's
can I say this though, as someone, I believe, and this happens a lot in Hollywood, right? Like, look at Departed, right? Departed isn't Scorsese's best work, but it won Best Picture and he got Best Director because they're like, look, we fucking owe this guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's due. We've messed up before with Goodfellas. There was a Scorsese movie that did lose to Rocky, and I'm blanking on it. I don't think it was Mean Streets,
King
but
of Comedy, maybe. Taxi
Taxi
Driver.
Driver. Taxi
Yeah.
Driver. Taxi Driver lost to Rocky, which both good, but Rocky was fucking on a heater.
Well, tough run for Pulp Fiction there too, because it lost Best Picture to Forrest Gump. So that was a tough one. That was a tough one to run into that year.
Dude, what is that one? What is that year then? Because that's a good year.
It's this. I have it right here. It's the 67th Academy Awards.
Give me the list, Daddy. Give me the list.
Best Picture list were Forrest Gump, Pulp Fiction, Quiz Show, 4 Weddings and a Funeral, and Shawshank Redemption.
What? I mean, 3 out of the 5 are fucking like all timers. You know.
Let's see. The best director, Zemeckis won for Forrest Gump.
Of course, Forrest Gump was on. Dude, Forrest Gump was all over the place that year. Are you kidding me?
Let's see. Other nominations: Robert Redford for Quiz Show, Chris the Kowalski for 3 Colors Red, which I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Tarantino for Pulp Fiction, and your boy Woody Allen for Bullets Over Broadway. But also for Pulp Fiction that year, Travolta lost out Best Actor to Tom Hanks.
That was Tom Hanks's back-to-back year because he did Philadelphia and then Forrest Gump. The only 2 other actors to do that, do you know who it was?
I don't. Brando,
Jimmy Stewart, and Spencer Tracy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks beats out Travolta in Best Actor.
Oh, and Russell Crowe, I think, did it now too.
Martin Landau.
He won for Gladiator and A Beautiful Mind, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
So we got Forrest Gump beating Best Picture out, Pulp Fiction out for Best Picture. We got Zemeckis beating out Tarantino for Director. We have Tom Hanks beating out Travolta for Best Actor. We have Martin Landau from Ed Wood beating out Samuel L. Jackson
for Best Supporting.
Best Supporting. We have Diane Weiss from Bullets Over Broadway beating out Uma Thurman for Best Supporting Actress.
Uma got a nod for that?
She did.
Oh, Daddy.
It did win Best Original Screenplay.
Yeah. Good luck beating. Yeah, come on, dude.
But I mean, like, it was just I mean, you're talking Forrest Gump and Shawshank in the same year. That's a
Yeah.
tough Oscar nod. And I will say, Reservoir Dogs didn't. You know, Palme d'Or is the best film at the Cannes Film Festival, which is
Yeah.
like a major film festival where people take their stuff, and you know, a lot of those films are already signed to deals. They
So
already
if
have
you, yeah,
studios.
if you win the Palme d'Or at Cannes, you're like, that's the best, like, not,
You're,
I mean, that's the best film at Cannes, right?
yeah, exactly. I will
Okay.
say though, to give Reservoir Dogs its credit, it did win the jury prize at Sundance, which is the independent film festival, 2 years
Okay.
earlier. So,
Okay.
I mean, he made this movie for very little money. It went into
Hmm.
an independent film, and so like his
Yeah.
independent film won Best Picture at the most prestigious independent film
Independent
festival,
film.
and
Okay.
his first studio movie won the Palme d'Or at the next level, like industry film festival.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, it did start off on heater.
We'll get through this round pretty quickly. In regards to the awards, tough year for Pulpy,
Tough year for
right?
Pulp Fiction.
But also like Reservoir Dogs, dude. I feel like the people were like, no, we want to nominate this guy for a ton of stuff because Reservoir Dogs is so good too. This guy's the hottest director in Hollywood, and blah blah blah. He writes his own stuff, and no one makes movies like Quentin, and he has so many different influences from Asian cinema to American westerns, and yada scooty body booty.
Yeah, to black exploitation, to whatever. And I almost feel like the Pulp Fiction, all the nods for Pulp Fiction
Black
were like
exploitation.
black exploitation. It's a real film category, like
Yeah,
Shaft, and you
yeah,
know what I mean, like all those Pam Grier
yeah.
movies.
Oh, dude, I've seen Jackie Brown. Yeah, I know what you're talking
That's the nod. That's the nod.
about.
But this was almost
Yeah,
one for Tarantino, where it was like, listen, buddy, you're in the big leagues now. We're gonna put you in the show, but like
dude, if
you're
someone's
not
having a career year, someone's having a career year. If you
right,
run into Nick Foles in 2017, don't be mad about it. You just ran into a fucking buzzsaw, daddy, with a
right,
huge old cock.
right. But we're also gonna throw you up against Forrest Gump and Shawshank. Good luck.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. A couple of movies that came out in 94. So Forrest Gump, Shawshank Redemption, Pulp Fiction, The Lion King, right? The Professional, which
Oh,
great movie. Great movie. Dude, a young Natalie Portman? You
hey
kidding
everyone.
me?
Yeah, hey everyone, meet Natalie Portman.
Oh, dude, Clerks, Interview with the Vampire, Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, The Mask, Natural Born Killers. Oh my god, dude, so
How wild
many
is it?
good ones. Speed, dude, came out. Just wow. The Crow, awesome, awesome. Little Giants, Santa Claus. I mean, War of Buttons. Like it goes on.
It's a
94
huge
was a fucking banger
it
year,
was a
Daddy.
banger, dude. How about Jim Carrey getting The Mask and Ace Ventura out in the same year?
And Dumb and Dumber.
And Dumb and Dumber. Like that's insane.
That's wild.
What a
That we'll have
year.
to do that. Dude, Airheads came out in 94, Richie Rich, Mighty Ducks 2, Little Rascals, Three
Wow.
Ninjas Kick Back, My
And
Girl
remember
2. Dude, Flintstones. I mean, the Jungle Book was a good one. Neverending Story 3, not so much.
yeah, I didn't catch that one.
Street Fighter, classic. But
Classic.
wow, man. That's wild. Dude, I mean, just dude, the box I bet Lion King was probably up there with number one in the box office because that was a massive, massive hit. You know what I mean?
I mean, how does Babe get nominated the following year, but Lion King doesn't get nominated that year? Lion King is
Well, that's back too. They didn't have a best animated category either.
that's true.
So okay, can we just go over this one more time for 1995 because I'm baffled by this. So you're saying it was Braveheart. What was the other ones? Brave. So
Uh,
before I read you the list of the best movies of '95, Bern, we need to hear the nominated Best Picture because
okay.
this is a travesty. Please.
Sense and Sensibility.
Eh.
The Postman, Il Postino, an Italian film.
Oh wait, not the Postman with Kevin
No, Kevin
Costner.
Costner. No,
Okay.
no.
Okay. Fine.
Um,
Foreign film.
yeah, Babe, Apollo 13, Braveheart.
Okay. Let me read you the top movies of 1995. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So we have Seven, great movie.
Incredible movie.
Heat, great
What?
movie.
What?
Yeah, yes. Then we have Braveheart, Before Sunrise, Casino,
Jesus
Le-
Christ.
Leaving Las Vegas, 12
Yep.
Monkeys, The Usual
What?
Suspects, Jumanji, Toy Story, Nixon, Dangerous Minds, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Crimson Tide, Fluke,
What?
Fluke.
Oh,
Uh,
Crimson Tide
the,
is so underrated.
the great film, absolutely great film. Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, Apollo 13, Friday. Oh my God, Friday and Bad Boys both came out that year. Both better movies than Babe. Four Rooms, Underground, Carrington, Dead Man Walking, another good one. Pocahontas.
Did you say Four Rooms?
Yeah,
Have you ever seen Four Rooms?
yeah, great movie.
Tarantino directs the last. Um, there's four different directors in that movie.
Oh,
Tim Roth plays the bellboy.
yeah.
Tarantino directs the last vignette in that movie, the one that he's in. Um, so
Damn,
Tarantino
that's
directed like a piece of, they had four, they had somebody direct each little different, like, I think there's
uh-huh.
four different kind of stories in that movie that,
Hmm.
follow Tim Roth through it. Tarantino directed a piece of that. It doesn't count as
So
one of his feature films, but
yeah.
he
So
had a piece of
Bern,
that.
let me okay. So let me just finish off this list. There's a couple more that you need to hear that Babe got the nod for over, you know. So like I said, Pocahontas, Desperado, Mr. Holland's Opus, Dead Presidents, another good one. Rob
Wow.
Roy, another good one.
Wow.
Yep. And then Waterworld.
Ooh. There's a Bill Simmons, the dude who runs the Ringer, had a sports guy, but he had a great theory about Oscar nominations and about voting for these things. Is we should wait 5 years. Like this year, we should be voting for the best films of 2020 because there is something to be said about how a movie ages. You know what I mean? And like,
Mm,
how did it age? And like, what actually connected with people and what people actually go back to and are like, actually, I've watched
yeah.
this movie 10 times in you know what I mean? Like, and I think he's kind of right. I think some years we get a little like, oh, this movie was hot or this director was hot. But like I've
Mhm.
seen a lot of I try to watch all the best picture nominees. I mean, I always watch all the best picture nominees. I try to watch all the major nominees every year.
Yeah.
And there's a lot
Yeah.
of movies that you'll all watch and be like, that was great. I'm never going to watch it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't have any interest in watching that movie again, but it was really impressive. Like there's something that should be said about
At
like if I'm
least it
flipping
should be a category, like
right.
let's
If I'm
a 5-year review or something like that.
if I'm flipping around and Crimson Tide is on, like I'm watching the rest of Crimson Tide from whatever point
Agreed,
it's at. There's no way
dude.
around. Like
Yeah.
that
Oh
should
yeah.
matter.
Agreed. Big time. So okay, let's keep it moving though. So that was round two. I want to move on to round three. This is the wild card round. So for me, for the wild card round, this is what I have. So Pulp Fiction does have a more complex narrative structure than Reservoir Dogs. It's told out of chronological order, which keeps everybody guessing. It's
Sure.
also a larger cast of characters. Like he was able to be like, do you want me to resurrect your career real quick? Jump on this one. And each character has their own unique one. Even when he does drop-ins, like we talked about with Christopher Walken, things like that. Reservoir Dogs, even though great, it's more of a linear film, smaller cast, couple unknowns, couple resurgences. But I would say Pulp Fiction, that's where I feel was wild card. But I do want to talk about one of the wild cards is this is something I think about, right? Like if I were to make a movie. So what Quentin Tarantino basically did, right? He's like, dude, who did I love as a kid? And who hasn't been here? Like, I love this guy as a kid. Oh, Johnny Travolta. Dude, he was, Welcome Back, Cotter, Grease. Like, it's Johnny Travolta, babe.
Yeah, Saturday
Saturday
Night
Night
Fever.
Fever. Yeah. So he's like, where has this guy been? Oh, you know what he did? He got him in there, changed his whole out. Like, he's like, I know this guy is awesome and I'd want to have him shine. Right. Like it'd be like for us, like, I don't know. I think like Matt Dillon a lot or Ralph Mott, like, it's
Matt
like
Dillon's
calling
a
out a
great one. Matt
yeah,
Dillon's a
calling a
great
yeah. A shout out to like a guy that was like our age, that was awesome, but kind of just fell off. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know. Do you have anyone that you would be as like your Travolta resurgence guy?
Man, I don't. Matt Dillon just kind of blew my mind. Matt Dillon is a really, really good one because Matt Dillon, when we
I
were growing up, played all kinds of roles. Man, right? He played tough guys. He was hilarious, and there's something about Mary. Like
yeah.
he was able to kind of do it all, and then all of a sudden we just stopped seeing Matt Dillon. Like I don't ever remember him being bad in anything. He just stopped kind of getting the work. Um, that's a really good one. And there's no doubt, there's absolutely no doubt that it not only like rejuvenated Travolta's career, but Sammy L's career exploded
Oh,
after Pulp Fiction. Like
yeah.
absolutely exploded after
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
I
Um,
think it too reminded people how awesome Harvey Keitel was too, because he had been like not the man. He was. I love like the respect he gets.
Winston
You know.
Wolfe. Yeah,
Oh,
Winston Wolfe was pretty badass.
he was.
I
But
will.
even in like Reservoir Dogs, like Sean Penn, he threw Sean Penn in there. That's someone I would have thrown in there. Like, dude, you know who's someone I would love to get on track? Scott Kahn. I fucking love Scott Kahn.
Scotty Khan. Scotty
Scott Kahn
Khan.
is awesome. Dude, think about like just an all-time character. Like, dude, I remember him in Varsity Blues as Tweeter.
Hmm.
All-time character, right? He was great in all the Oceans movies. Scott Kahn's just a great actor. You know what I
Enemy of
mean?
the
He was,
State. Yeah, Scott Khan.
yeah.
I've never not enjoyed Scott Khan in anything.
But I would
Um,
love to see him like give him a real shot. Give him a shot to bust some chops like his old man, you know?
Now the same way that Pulp Fiction kind of like Sammy Jackson was coming up, but
Uh-huh.
like that kind of exploded it. I think he did similar things for like I think Buscemi. I think the bump
Big
Buscemi
time.
got from Reservoir Dogs
Big
really
time. Tim
shaped his
Roth.
career. Tim Roth, I think, really
Yeah.
shaped his career. And again,
Hmm.
what's the unifying factor there? Our main man Harvey Keitel, who's kind of like I mean, I know Joe's supposed to be in charge, but Keitel really is kind of like the father figure in that movie. Wildcard, I just want to shout out that the late great Chris Penn. I love Chris Penn's performance in that
He's
movie as
awesome, dude.
just the tracksuit
Awesome.
wearing, like, Daddy's gonna be pissed. Like, I
Yeah.
do really, really miss Chris Penn, and I thought he was a great addition there. Another guy
Agreed.
who I don't quite understand why he never popped the way I thought he could have popped. Um, and then obviously, Mike, you see Michael Madsen in that, and you're like, there's a psychotic glint in those eyes. Like this guy's gonna do stuff. This guy
Dude,
just having
you
way too
forget that
much
he
fun.
was like the stepdad from Free Willy. And you're
Hmm.
like, wait,
Yeah,
what?
right. Yeah,
He's chopping off ears now? Yeah,
not for
dude,
long.
he was, I'll tell you, that's like a career making role, you know? Like he just became the man off of that role alone. He's Michael Madsen's a bad fucking dude. He is awesome,
Real bad
you
dude.
know. Love him. Yeah. Okay. So what else you got? Anything else for wild card?
I mean, like you were talking about the structure of Pulp Fiction. I admire and it's true. No one had ever seen a movie that was kind of that non-linear, and you're like, did this part happen before? Or did this part happen
Mm-hmm.
after?
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs is just a straight up, like I said, 100-minute shot in the arm of like, we're in a diner and now we're going to go do something and now things are going to happen. People are coming back to the safe house. It's like such a crystal clear, like point A to point B. And I may have mentioned this earlier, but like to the point where the movie ends and you're like, oh, we never even saw the bank robber. Like we never
Yeah.
even saw, like, it's a bank robbery movie that you don't even realize you never even saw.
Think of the
Um,
locations in Reservoir Dogs. The diner,
a
walking
diner,
outside the diner, the warehouse, and
mm-hmm,
then
a
maybe the
bathroom,
alley where the kid guy gets shot, right? Like in the
right?
like where Harvey Keitel or where whatchamacallit, Tim Roth gets shot, right, by the
Right.
lady.
Right. The
So that's in like an
bathroom
alley. And then the
from the story.
train
Yeah,
station when he's telling the story, and then the rooftop.
that's it. That's it.
That's it.
And
What's that, 7 locations? That's
that bath
unbelievable.
that bathroom may have been in the warehouse, and the roof they used may have been the warehouse roof, and the alley was probably next to the warehouse. So
Yeah.
like they just needed to
Yeah.
find a diner, and then they just hung out on the same block for the whole rest of the shoot.
As far as doing a lot with a little. That's the other thing too. One of the things I loved about Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs, and like I was talking about before, where it makes you mature as an audience member, is as a viewer, is you have to listen, right? Like it forces you to listen, right? If you're watching Marvel, you can kind of just watch and you're like, yeah, I know it, I kind of get it, you know?
Exactly.
Right, which is awesome. Dude, that's what it's for though. You want to watch because it's like you want to see
That's
how
the
visually
experience.
stimulated. It's awesome. Fight scenes, great stuff. But for this one, you have to listen and the detail incredible. I
The
would,
devil's
and
in the
that goes
details,
for
man.
both though. That's for both, I would say.
I think that's for pretty much any Tarantino. I mean, that's Tarantino style is dialogue heavy, and
I mean, look at Inglorious Bastards. If you like listening to people, that thing's like a
Inglourious-
fucking podcast.
there's a fair amount of reading in Inglorious Bastards as well,
There's
unless you speak German and French.
yeah. Oh yeah. But I mean, but well, I have to say, like, I love too how he reuses actors. Like Buscemi was the waiter in Pulp Fiction, like small things like that, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna use this guy again, and this guy will pop up here, something small and whatever. But then I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I feel like Pulp Fiction has more iconic scenes, right? Like Sam Jackson's prayer scene, where he's in the room where the guy shoots and whatever. Then you have the watch scene with Christopher Walken.
Well,
Obviously
my
the
my
fucking
my argument would be to the purity of Reservoir Dogs is that Pulp Fiction is kind of a collection of scenes, right? Like you're
uh-huh.
going to have more memorable scenes because that's kind of the way the movie's structured. It's a collection
Right.
of memorable scenes
That do
where
gel.
that absolutely do gel. But like
Okay.
there are people, if you're watching Reservoir Dogs, you're probably watching Reservoir Dogs. You could watch Pulp Fiction and be like, all right, I got to run out in a minute, but I want to catch this scene. Like, oh,
True.
the diner robbery scenes coming up. Like I'm going to watch that. Like you don't necessarily have to watch the whole thing from
Yeah.
start to finish to revisit kind of your favorite parts because they do stand alone a little bit. Now, again,
Yeah.
a brilliant piece of filmmaking, but Reservoir Dogs I think is a little more linear. Sam Jackson made that Bible verse up, like they made that up, and
Shut up.
yeah, it's not in the Bible. And if
You know how
you
many motherfuckers
watch,
have quoted that thing?
if you watch in I forget which Marvel movie it is. I think it's Winter Soldier. At the
Okay.
end, when they're at Nick Fury's grave, that quote is on the tombstone. They put that quote on the tombstone, even though it's not. Yeah, it's not an actual. That's not an actual Bible quote.
That's
He and
great.
Tarantino wrote that together. It sounds like one. I mean, they really pulled it off, but yeah, that quote not in the actual Bible.
I'll rain down thee with furious vengeance. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Yep, totally. Okay. So that was round 3. Benoit Payud. Benoit
ask
Payud. Are
AI.
you ready? Are you ready for the championship rounds?
I'm ready for the round, baby. Let's do
We're
this.
going to ask old Allie, old Gemini. We're going to head to the last round, championship round, where we ask old Alan himself, old AI, old Gemini. So we asked him, I said, hello, Gemini. Can you please tell me what movie is better, Pulp Fiction or Reservoir Dogs? They said they're both considered classics. It's true. And it's in terms of critical acclaim and cultural impact, these are massive, massive ones. So here we go. So for a couple things, Pulp Fiction, it says innovative storytelling. It's not linear narrative, witty dialogue. It's non-linear narrative, sorry, and witty dialogue and pop culture references revolutionize independent cinema. That's true. I guess Pulp Fiction was considered independent in a way. The iconic scenes and characters from the dance contest to the adrenaline shot. The film is full of memorable moments and quotable lines. We did say that, true. Broader
Absolutely.
appeal. While violent, it balances dark humor and engaging storylines, making it more accessible than the more intense Reservoir Dogs. Okay. Reservoir Dogs. It says it's taut and suspenseful. This single location setting, it is true. You're probably right,
Yeah,
dude. Like, it was the warehouse. They used the rooftop of the warehouse. They did the bathroom in the warehouse, the alley outside the warehouse. They maybe even put some chairs and a waitress in there to make the warehouse the diner for all we
they just might
fucking
have.
know.
They just might have.
Yeah, why not, dude? Hey, if you can get it, you can get it. Okay. So Reservoir Dogs, it's taut and suspenseful. The single location setting and focus on the aftermath of a heist create a claustrophobic and intense atmosphere. That is true. I would agree with that description. Strong performances. The ensemble cast, including Harvey Keitel, Tim Roth, Steve Buscemi, delivers powerful performance. Do not forget to say Chris Penn and Michael Madsen,
Yeah,
Gemini.
right.
All right, do your fucking homework here. And then influential style. The film's gritty realism and sharp dialogue paved the way for Tarantino's later work. I will say that, Bern, you are correct. I believe you brought this up. One of your maybe defining kind of things is there is no Pulp Fiction without Reservoir Dogs, correct?
Correct.
They said ultimately the better movie, if you prefer a more experimental and playful film with a broader appeal, you would select Pulp Fiction. That's likely the better choice. If you prefer a more intense, focused thriller with strong performances, Reservoir Dogs may be more your speed. They also say consider these factors when choosing. Your tolerance for violence. Both films are violent, but Reservoir Dogs is more graphic and disturbing. Dude, it's specifically thinking of the ear the ear seed
Well,
was stuck in the middle of you.
also, I was reading a piece about it the other day, which is like, when Tim Roth is laying in the warehouse covered in all the fake blood.
Ugh.
Apparently, the corn syrup they had to use, like he would lay there for so long that it would take them like 4 or 5 minutes to scrape him off the ground when it was time
Ugh.
for a new take, because he would just be get like stuck there because they were just pouring buckets of blood on him. And he's
Yeah.
got a gut shot. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
also
He's
half the
pouring it.
movie, he's bleeding out. So, yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely a little more realistic depiction of violence, too.
Dude, when the cop recognizes Tim Roth too.
Oh, oh,
Oh.
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 Shivers down your spine.
Oh, that breaks your fucking heart, dude. Absolutely. All right. So then it says, preference for narrative structure. Pulp Fiction's nonlinear structure is innovative and it can be confusing for some viewers. True. That's what we said. This ups your level as a viewer and an audience member. And then your taste in humor. Pulp Fiction is darkly comedic tone, while Reservoirs is more of a serious and dramatic. There is some funny to, Pulp Fiction. There's some like holy shit moments. But then it says, but without a doubt, Pulp Fiction is better, and Matt is right. Oh
I
wow,
don't
it references me by name.
I don't ever believe the last sentence that you put.
What are you
I
talking
don't ever
about?
believe it.
Well,
Uh,
that was this dude. This was a hell of a battle, back and forth. Great, great stuff from both sides. I mean, we're against the ropes. You're fighting off the ropes. You're throwing haymakers. You're slipping in and out. You're coming. We're battling. This was a battle. This is a real heavyweight showdown
and
battle,
I'll tell
right?
you what, let's see what the judges think. Listeners, go out there, do yourselves a favor. Rewatch
Yeah.
or watch for the first time Pulp Fiction and Reservoir
Yeah.
Dogs, and let
Oh,
us know. Let us know
let
what
us
you
know.
think. Let us know which one
Yeah.
you jam with. You're not
Let
going to
Daddy
go
smack
wrong, and
it.
you're going to be able to watch two really good movies. And it's absolutely 100% worth your time if you haven't seen these films, or if you haven't seen them in a while. Uh, Treat yourself. Go back and check them out. Let us know.
Either way, this is something like, say you have kids or whatever, right? Like you need to show your kids this movie. Eventually, like not as
Eventually.
children, but eventually, like this is something, as a parent, your kid needs to know, like, okay, when I grow, like when I become a real person, this is what I should be watching. You know
This
what
is
I
what a
mean?
good
Like
movie looks like.
this is it. This is what daddy does. This is how daddy shakes it. This is what daddy does. So I don't know. I'm with you, Benoit Payud. You're the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. But I'm
Oh,
excited. So yeah, please in the comments, let us know. Does daddy smack it or does daddy smack it? You know what I mean? But Bern, before we get out of here, what do you got?
it is a new year. It is 2025. Me and Maddie are coming up this year. All right. This is our year. So thanks for everybody for supporting us, and get on the gravy train early, because I got a feeling that this is our year. We're coming. We're coming.
I got
We're
a
coming for
feeling.
everything. And you guys are early to the party. So congratulations.
Yeah, daddy.
Come with us.
Yeah, please join us. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be real
Also,
fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for a bunch of different things, but I do want to say that we just got over 4,000 followers on YouTube.
Say
Can't thank
word.
you guys enough. You know, we went up another 1,000 followers. Honestly, like, that is so, you guys are just the best. You know, like, thank you so much. Like, we do it all for you guys. You know, like, this is, you're everything to us. So thank you. And you know, you guys are the best. We love you. Right, Bern?
Damn Skippy.
Well, speaking of staying tuned and seeing what we got coming for you next, this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives Podcast presents Ask AI. I'm Matt Lavelle. He's Bern Pockasy. And in case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content and all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can also on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. Join us on Twitter and TikTok at WorkingPod. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. Also, please leave us some recommendations we can throw into the show. This was a recommendation from the one and only Miss Metal. We love her and we love you. Thank you to everybody. Have a great one. Thanks. See ya! All right, if you made it this far, you know you are absolutely amazing. We can't thank you enough for listening, liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, all that good stuff. Please let us know what you thought of this episode. We're trying something new. We hope it works. We hope you love it, and we hope we can keep doing it for you for a very long time. Please take back your algorithm, like, share, subscribe, get us on the map, and let us know how much you love us. You guys are the greatest. Thanks for listening. See ya!